Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Chris from Ozarks Euro. I have been speaking with Terry Tanner, and I am so happy. I asked, and he gave me permission to share with you Terry Tanner's Koozie Popper. This is one of the most innovative flies we have tied for years. That's an amazing little secret of his. It's bluegill season, so it's time to share it. So, yep, the old can koozies. Some guys I was talking to didn't even remember that they made these because they're now made out of neoprene. They're a little hard to find, but there's a couple tricks to do this. Terry was sitting at his desk and didn't want to be tying and painting poppers, and he looked over and he saw one of these cans of soda pop sitting, keeping cold, and he saw his hole punch, and he started practicing and messing with it and came up with the Koozie Popper. It's so awesome. So, here's some tricks and how it's done, and we'll tie up this little bluegill killer. All right, so here we go. There's a couple different tricks to this fly, and the first one is you got to get some can koozies. These old school, this is how I had to buy them off of Amazon, and they used to be 50 cents each, and now they're like 15 bucks for 6 of them. But it's this foam style, as you can see. Now, I'll show you how we're going to use these, because you also need, here's a trick, the old school style of paper punch. Now, the reason you want this old school one, it was really cherished at the shop. All of us guys knew we had to leave it on the bench because you have to take and get one of the $1.52 ones from Walmart, and you slowly pull really hard and make it pop. And it will pop open. You see how I just did that, and it actually made the spring come out. I'll put it back in here in a second. But that makes it where you can actually stretch this and get it to slide over your foam. And they're just $1.52, so don't worry about hurting them or ruining them. And then you want to make sure and get in a good position. If you have one of these foam koozies that the inside is not polished like this, this one happens to be the same style in and out. You want to punch it so that your little foam front ends up coming out. You'll notice some of them become a little irregular, but you end up with the firm part on the front, a little tapered popper. And you can see if you're not careful and watching where you punch. I punched a couple irregulars. But then you just go through and punch several out. This is our old can koozie, and I usually punch them towards the inside so I can keep collecting them on the inside as I go. See? You just take and punch another. Just like that. We just keep moving down through the whole foam popper. You see I can work this. I've worked some off of this. All right, now we're ready to tie the actual fly. So for the Koozie Popper, we're going to take a Gamakatsu F13 mayfly hook. It has a longer shank. You want a 1.5 to 2 by shank of a dry fly hook. Then we're going to take that dry fly hook, and we are going to thread it into our Koozie Popper. You'll notice I have the bigger side forward. And we're going to take right in the edge, drive that hook in, and come right out the lower back side. Just like that. Okay. Pretty simple, right? Now, let's get this in the vise. Now, one of the cool things about this, Terry figured out that, well, this doesn't sit very well, so we take a little drop of super glue. We can pull this back. Put a little bit on the shank, and I like to control the drop if I can and not just put it huge, because this is going to push forward as we go up. But now watch, we're going to slide that right up, easy, easy, kind of pull, make sure I didn't fill the gap in my eye, and that's going to set that on the top of that hook shank. Really simple, okay? Now, I usually use a 140 denier or this is a 70. A little bigger thread won't cut the back of your little popper, and that's important. But I'm going to use flat thread control. If you're using a smaller thread, grasp just the back really gently. And as I hold that in place from where I glued it down, set that so it doesn't pull around. Right there. Look at that. We've made our first little connection bit to our Koozie popper. Looks really nice. Look at that. Now, simple. Now I'm going to I found some bright CDC for my tail. I thought this would make a nice little pretty bright tail. I'm just going to take and put that, make sure the length. Spin my thread the other way, don't I? Take and grip that down. Make a little bitty CDC tail. Look how nice that is. And then right here behind, I've got my really nice neck here. We're going to take and put a little hackle on it. Just like that. A little snug wrap, and we're going to wrap this right up. Hackle our palmer our hackle, I should say, right up to the front. You can use whatever color variation you want. That's the fun of this pattern. We've done them in purple, blue, red. In this case, this is the most popular. We've always done it in the bumblebee pattern. It just catches bluegill so well. And, you know, these are, once you get to really tying them, they're super time saving. So you can have a few of them ready to go. You don't have to worry about if they tear up a little bit because it's an amazing little pattern. Okay. Now we're just going to take whip finish to the end here. And, you know, if you like a little drop of glue on there at the end, that's whatever you like. And the last thing we're going to do is our permanent marker. Oop. You can probably draw a better line than I can. Look at that. Anyway, that gives some sort of bumblebee pattern as you stripe it around the side of it there. I can usually draw it a little better when it's in my fingers in a straight line, a double band. You can dot them, you can stripe them, whatever you like in any color variation with a permanent marker, and it makes an amazing little Koozie popper. So that is Terry Tanner's Koozie popper. What a great little fly. Thanks, Terry, for your innovation of coming up with that. We really appreciate it, and I hope you guys can stripe yours better than I did mine. All right, have a great night.